All right, so yesterday you learned how to write the domain and range of continuous functions. Today we're going to do the exact same thing, but if you have to use the infinity symbol, we're going to learn another way to do it where you don't have to use that symbol. So, for example, in this very first example we've got here, if the domain is negative infinity is less than x is less than or equal to 4, what you can do is cover up the infinity symbol like so and just write what's left over. So you could say that that's just x is less than or equal to 4. Same idea with or without the infinity. In words, we're saying that x is all real numbers less than or equal to 4. Now the other one, if it's the other direction, you can take this infinity sign, cover it up, and you can say that negative 5 is less than x. But normally we write the variable first and the number second. So if I flip those around, I also have to flip the inequality sign, and it turns into that. So you could say that negative 5 is less than all of your x's, or all of your x's are greater than negative 5. And those say the same thing. So we're going to say we have all real numbers greater than 5. Okay, so now if we look at the graphs. This first example here, my domain. So I'm going to take my X colored highlighter, and I'm going to highlight that the domain goes from, well, it's an arrow on this side, but it stops on this side. So my domain is all of these x values all the way negative infinity. So my domain is the x values in between negative infinity and positive 8. Or, we're going to write it without the infinity symbol down here. So without the infinity symbol, I say that x is less than 8. But that inequality needs an or equal to because the 8 has a closed circle, okay? This arrow, remembers, it's going to go on and on and on and on, negative infinity. The range. I'm going to take my range color, and my range goes from this is the lowest the graph goes to here is the highest that the graph goes. But really it goes lower than negative 7 because of this arrow, it's going to keep going. So it's going to go down forever. So my range, I say, is all the y values in between, negative infinity and positive 4. And because there's a normal solid point at 4, I need to put the or equal to symbol there, okay? Then to write it, my bad, hang on. To write it in words, this one, without the infinity symbol, let me erase that. So the range without the infinity symbol is all the y values less than or equal to 4. So the domain in words, we say that x is all real numbers less than or equal to 8. And the range in words, we say that we have all real numbers less than or equal to 4. All right? Okay, the next one, my domain. So if I take my X color highlighter, my domain goes to the left. It looks like it stops here, but because this is an arrow, it's going to go left forever. And it looks like it stops here on the right, but because it's an arrow, it's going to go right forever. So I say that my domain is all of the x values in between negative infinity and positive infinity. Without the infinity symbol, I can use this kind of funny little symbol here that says a double bar R. And that just means that I have all real numbers with no stipulations. It doesn't stop on either end, okay? The range for this one, so if I grab my Y color highlighter, The lowest this graph goes, it looks like it goes down to here, but because of this arrow, it really goes down for forever. It looks like it stops up here, but because of this arrow, it really goes up for forever. So my range happens to be the same as the domain. So my range is also it's all the y values between negative infinity and positive infinity. I can just say it's this double bar R for all real numbers. And in words, that's all I can say, all real numbers. It doesn't stop in any direction. So I can't put any number stipulations on that domain and range, okay? All right, 2 more. This next one, the domain. If I take my X colored highlighter for the domain, and domain, my X's look like they stop here on the left, but this arrow means it's going to continue going left. And it looks like it stops here on the right, but the arrow means it's going to keep going right. So my domain is X values, all of the X values between negative infinity on the left and positive infinity on the right. So without the symbol, I can just write the double bar R, and I say that my domain is all real numbers. No stopping points. My range, though, on this one is different. The range is different because when I look at the y values associated with this graph, the lowest my graph goes is here. It doesn't go past the -3. The highest it goes, it looks like it stops here, but these arrows keep going up, right? So it doesn't have a highest value, but it does have a lowest value. So my range is all the y values stuck in between -3 and infinity. And because I have a normal solid point at -3, I need to draw the or equal to line there. So without the infinity symbol, I say that -3 is less than or equal to all my y values. Or, remember, we like to write the letter first. So if I write the y first and the -3 second, I have to flip that inequality symbol around. And that's what we're going to use to talk about it, okay? So my range is all real numbers. And they're all higher than the -3 on the graph. So we say greater than, move that a little bit, greater than or equal to this -3 value. All right? Okay, last one, the domain. If I take my X color highlighter to talk about the domain, my X's go there is the furthest left they go. It looks like 6 is the furthest right, but because of these arrows, they're going to keep going out, right? So it goes out for forever, but it stops on the left at 0. So I say my domain is all the X values stuck in between 0 and infinity. Because there's a normal solid point at 0, I have to include that in my answer, so draw the equal sign. So without the infinity symbol, I say that 0 is less than or equal to all of my X's. Or, to write the letter first and the 0 second, it means we have to flip the inequality around, and we use that one. So we have all real numbers greater than or equal to 0. My range, if I take the Y-colored highlighter and talk about the range, my graph looks like this is the lowest that it goes, but this arrow is going to keep going out and down. And it looks like this is the highest that it goes, but this arrow is going to keep going out and up. So my range on this one goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. Oops, wrong spot. And if I want to write that without the infinity symbol, I don't have any numbers to talk about, so I just say it's at double bar R. So my range in words is just all real numbers with no stipulation. All right? And that's it. Not hard.